Hi there, Reg. This is the video to just summarise what it is I've learnt since you and I've worked together, where I was at the beginning and where I am now in this journey. Starting at the very beginning, the reason I wanted to work with you is because I absolutely got the whole concept of there needing to be a holistic approach in order to help me with the issues and the challenges that I was facing. It wasn't just a mindset. I understood through, in fact, reading your book, which made absolute sense to me, how the mind, the body, what we put into our bodies, the choices we make, how everything is connected, and how the spirit, our environment, the mind, the body, etc., is all linked and impacts each other positively or negatively depending on what we do. So that was the first thing. The second thing is that I very quickly became more conscious once we started the work together, and so I became conscious of the fact that I had choices that I was making all day, every day. And I think for many years I must have sleepwalked through this particular, very simple principle of life, in the fact that we are making choices every day of our life, and it is up to us to make the right choices for us as individuals, and to look at the choices we're making and to really question them to make sure that what we're doing is of positive impact to us and for those obviously around us as well. So, for example, with our thoughts, one of the things terms you use very often is about our perception and of the things that are happening around us, and the perception of the thoughts that we allow to come into our minds, and how we're able to make choices about those perceptions and how we choose to look at a different film, or look at the film but in a different way, and to approach things in a more positive light than maybe we were originally. And particularly with me, that was something that was a biggie for me to really get to understand. But at the same time, it is obviously also what we consume, and if we're consuming rubbish, then that doesn't help us feel good. Therefore, if we're not feeling good, it doesn't help us in our mind and how we're feeling. Also, I've become far more aware of our environment and the issues that are in our immediate environment and the environment that we choose to be in, and actually the environment that we choose to live in as well. So not just the environments we walk into during the day, whether we choose to stay there or move or change it, but actually the environment that we live in and how important it is to get the environment at home right as well. And we live in a lovely home, but just for example, this week you made it very clear, or it became clear once we've really thought about it, that in our office, with all the books that we've got, hundreds of books, what use were they to us? But I've read them. I'm very unlikely to read them again. There are some that I would do, so those we've kept, but the rest actually we've now got out of here. Because actually it's now making space for things that could be of more use to us now, or actually it just helps us to change the environment within the office into one that is more of a positive one, and one that's actually going to benefit us more. So there's been quite a lot of things around that. I think the other one is, of course, the people that we choose to be with. We've all heard again and again and again about we're the average of the 5 people we spend our time with, but actually really thinking and understanding and choosing who we want to be with, and the people we surround ourselves with, the people we socialise with, the people we want to spend our time with. If they're people who add to what we're doing and add to us positively, add to our energy, then that's absolutely fine. But if they're people who are actually sucking our positivity out of us, if they're negative people around us, etc., then we actually need to make the choice to do something about that and to change that. And I think that also goes for the things that we listen to on the TV and the radio, etc. We have a choice whether we sit and listen and pay attention to lots of negative things that we do nothing about, or if it's we want to actually swap that to do something and pay attention to things that are more positive, that we can in fact influence and have add value to. So I think that the conscious realization of choice is the real big first thing that I've learned. Physically, when we first started, I was actually feeling very beaten up for good reason, and very stiff, very tired. You spent the best part of 12 hours over a number of days giving me very, very deep massage, and as you explained to me, opening up the channels of energy within my body. And although I've not taken the same level of exercise that I was taking a month or so ago, I actually find myself more full of energy now than I had done previously, but in a slightly different way. I feel more supple and more mobile. I feel less tight within myself as well. It's quite interesting. I feel more at ease physically than I've done for a very, very long time. I would say that my feet still need attention, and they are still quite sore, the soles of my feet, but you're the only person who's ever even got close to being able to touch the soles of my feet. So yeah, anyway. I also enjoy the fact that some of the things that you've given me to do. So doing what is a limited and very simple yoga first thing in the morning and last thing at night, I am thoroughly enjoying doing and finding a great deal of benefit from. And although it is very simple stretching and simple yoga, I'm quite surprised at how I'm able to hold some of those positions for a lot longer than I was doing originally. But actually, I'm clearly stretching certain muscles and ligaments and things in my body to be able to bend and become more supple, and that helps enormously as well. I'm also taking a 10 to 15 minute break every 45 minutes or so during the day. So when I'm working, stopping, making a conscious decision to move, and doing the 20 burpees, press up burpees. You've set a target of 250 a day. Well, I've never done 250 press ups in a day. So at the moment I'm not achieving it, but I am doing an awful lot of press up burpees every day, and that is actually doing me a world of good. Interesting exercise to repeat a number of times every hour or so, but I feel actually I'm getting fitter for it. You talked about the deep breathing, and that was something I hadn't ever really been conscious of, and that I do still forget to do it, but I'm more conscious of the fact that I need to do it, and when I do it over a period of time, I do actually feel far more energized than I have when I don't do it. So it's a very simple thing there. So I now feel more sort of released physically. I feel more connected. My body seems to be stronger, although I haven't exercised as much as I was doing previously, and have more energy. I'm also sleeping better, but as I say, the soles of my feet need a bit of attention. So as far as my mind is concerned, at the very outset of all this, I was aware of the need to not be driven by fear, but I was actually only managing that situation. Now I feel through, and as I thought about it today, that whole feeling of fear and how it is evolving in me is now totally different. I think through the conscious realization of choice, the fear is around considerably less than it was, and so it doesn't need to be managed in the way or as regularly as it used to. Occasionally at night, I still wake up and fear comes crashing in one way, shape, or form or the other. But again, through the ability now and through your guidance to actually start to go through that list of things that I am grateful for, a gratitude list, that really does help to actually completely change the mindset at that point in time, and in those dark hours of the morning, which were always so very, very difficult to manage previously. I've taken control of my perceptions. I realise I have a choice, and I have to manage what is happening in my mind, and it is a choice. Sometimes it is still very difficult to make that change, particularly when I'm feeling low and perhaps I'm not conscious of why I'm feeling low. it just is that's how I feel. But I then have to make a conscious effort to go and choose to think about things and develop things, both physically, mentally, that will actually pick me up and be more positive. And although it may not be instantaneous over a period of time, which is probably a minute's, maybe quarter of an hour or so, I can actually change the way that I am mentally feeling when I have those low spells. I had one of those today, but managed to move forward from it. One of the things you've also talked about, and one of the things that I've become conscious of again, is to be aware of my beliefs and the boxes that I've actually put myself in, and to try to change those to and develop the number of boxes that I want to be in, and not to be just stereotyped or be stuck in one box. But also be aware of my beliefs, and again, that's a very, very strong thing for me. You also talk about to be mindful and not to be mindful. And I've looked up mindful in the dictionary, and it talks about being aware, alert, attentive, and conscious. Again, is that word again. So to be more aware, alert, and attentive, and conscious, and not just having a mind full of stuff. Be aware of what's going on around me and be alert to it. I've also started to properly plan a schedule. I had done that for many years in business. It was much easier to do then. I had never really done it at a personal level in quite the way that you have suggested. But actually, in the last day or two, I have and have stuck to it pretty much. I can do better, but I have stuck to it pretty much. And again, that has also actually given me some discipline back in my life. And it's funny, because out of all the things we've discussed, it's the one thing that we haven't discussed is discipline. And for me, having this schedule and sticking to it is bringing back a level of discipline that is benefiting me as well. So there you go. That's a 12 minutes odd video, which I don't know if it's going to go out on WhatsApp, but I'll give it a go. And I will catch up with you tomorrow. And all I would like to say to you is thank you very, very much indeed for accompanying me on the journey that I'm on and guiding me through this with your knowledge and your abilities. It is truly a revelation to me and in my life and the life of my family around, because clearly my responsibility is to get myself right in order to be of use to other people and to be of value and to take my life forward positively and to really make the best of life and the gifts that I've got. So thank you, and we'll speak soon. Thanks.